What's going on guys, it's Gizmodict here and today I will be doing a full review of the PhonePad by ASUS. So the ASUS PhonePad is the company's first attempt to make a budget tablet with calling feature. ASUS, which has also made both the generations of the Nexus 7, did make the PhonePad almost similar to the original Nexus 7. Since I have the two devices today, I would be comparing the two in the video too. So besides having many similarities with the Nexus 7, the PhonePad and the Nexus 7 really differ in terms of performance as well as the user market they appeal to. So without any further ado, let's get started with the PhonePad review video. So let us talk about the design and the dimensions of the PhonePad first. So the PhonePad in terms of design purely resembles the Nexus 7. On the front we have a front-facing camera along with an earpiece which is not available on the Nexus 7. On the bottom is the ASUS logo along with a micro USB port as well as an headphone jack. On the left hand side we have the Nexus 7 style power buttons as well as volume rockers. We have the power button as well as the volume rocker placement on the right hand side of the Nexus 7. On the back we have a pretty standard 3 megapixel camera without any kind of flash. We also have this brushed metallic back which feels very premium to hold. The top cap can be removed to access the micro SD card as well as the SIM card slot. The PhonePad takes in micro SIM slot and you can also expand the memory up to 64GB. With around 1 cm in thickness, this tablet is very easy to handle and it's light too. It gives the same compact feeling as the Google Nexus 7. Overall, the tablet is well built and personally I like the metallic back on the PhonePad more than the textured back of the Nexus 7. In terms of hardware and performance, the PhonePad is totally different from the Nexus 7. Inside we have an Intel Z2420 single-core Atom chip running on the hyper-threading technology. We also have 1GB of RAM along with a PowerVR GPU. Although the processor supports hyper-threading, the single core is not up to the mark for power users. The benchmark scores were very low compared to the Nexus 7 and the device did not perform well while doing heavy tasks. Here I have The Verge loaded, which is a very heavy website on the ASUS PhonePad, and as we can see, it struggles a little while zooming in and zooming out. The Nexus 7 on the other hand handled it without any kind of problems. Although the regular tasks like mailing, texting, calling, browsing etc. were fine, I was literally disappointed by the gaming performance of the PhonePad. Low-end games would run fine, but as you try to step up to something like Temple Run 2, Modern Combat 4 or even Dead Trigger, the tablet really starts struggling in frame rates. The gameplay of Temple Run 2 was okay, but Modern Combat 4 and Dead Trigger really lagged on the PhonePad. So I would say that if you are a serious gamer, the PhonePad is not for you because it's not made for gaming. The PhonePad runs on Android 4.1.2 Jelly Bean out of the box. The software resembles very much to the stock Android, but we do have some ASUS tweaks as well as apps. We have an array of ASUS apps like ASUS Story, ASUS Studio, Audio Wizard, BuddyBuzz, etc. ASUS Splendid was one of my favorite apps. It easily lets you change the color temperature as well as saturation of the screen according to your liking. There are many ASUS widgets too, but I did load up Nova Launcher Prime to get the real performance of the PhonePad. One of the nifty features inside the PhonePad software were floating apps and widgets. These are kind of small apps available on the Xperia series. You need to press the arrow button next to the multitasking bar and it will show you all the floating apps available. You can easily pin your to-do list or your video player on your screen and do your other task without any kind of hassle. This is kind of like the multi-window feature on the Galaxy Note series. More and more tablets should come up with features like this. The PhonePad should also get the Android 4.2.2 update soon, but I am not too sure about it. The screen on the PhonePad is a 1280 by 800 pixel 7-inch screen with a PPI of 216. Although the display is similar to the Nexus 7, I found the Nexus 7 display better than this one. Although you can adjust the screen settings in the PhonePad, I prefer the Nexus 7 display more. But nevertheless, the display is good, the viewing angles are okay and watching an HD movie would not be a problem on the PhonePad. The camera on the PhonePad is okay, considering it to be a 3 megapixel sensor, it's not going to wow you but it is useful to click a photo or two occasionally. The PhonePad runs on a massive 4270 mAh battery, and I would say that the battery life is pretty good here. With medium to heavy usage like making a few calls, using data on 3G, watching videos and gaming, you can pull a day out of the PhonePad battery easily. Now since I've explained each and everything about the PhonePad, you might ask me that you should buy the Nexus 7 or the PhonePad for you, as these are very closely priced. The Nexus 7 and the PhonePad both appeal to a very different kind of audience. The Nexus 7 is more on the power user's side and gadgets geek who want higher specs along with better performance and latest updates. The PhonePad on the other hand is aimed at a common user who does like to have the calling feature along with an earpiece combined with a tablet experience. So what you should buy, this totally depends on you because you know your needs best. If you have any of the questions regarding the PhonePad or the Nexus 7, do drop them in the comment section, and also don't forget to hit the like button. Please hit the subscribe button below this video to get more tech content and reviews. Anyways guys, this was Gizmo Deck with the Asus PhonePad review. Thank you for watching and I'll catch you up next time. Peace.